All right, welcome back to the It's Take Two podcast, season 2, episode 2. We've got a balloon.
Still like a newsreader.
What do you mean?
You were like that.
Well, I'm not happy about this, to be honest. I'm on a different chair.
Yeah, we had to put.
I've got a fucking booster seat. You'll be able to see it on
cushions
wide.
under.
4 cushions. Stupid. I've got no back support. Going to be all
Already
over the
moaning.
place here. The posture's going.
Just ignore him. He'll sleep later. It'll be fine. Yeah, welcome.
Oh, was that my one chance?
Yeah, it's gone.
Subbed out. All right, no, you do it then.
Welcome to episode 2 of "Or Someone's Phone Buzzed," and I just asked them to put it on silent.
I'm on D&D.
Huh?
That's right.
What's D&D?
Do not disturb.
Dungeons and Dragons. Welcome to episode 2 of season 2 and the Christmas special. Hence, we'll take a drink.
What an absolute poor effort for Christmas special this year. I mean, Christ.
I've not put the tree up yet.
So we got some branches from outside.
Can you smell the cinnamon though? They've been stuck in the same bag as some little
Not really.
pine cut. I'm getting right strong waff.
Yeah.
Thanks. So, in honour of the Christmas special, we've brought our own little Christmas elf along with us today.
I was going to make the same.
Hello, El.
Oh, hello.
We've got for a couple
Elliot.
of hours before we head back north.
Yeah. We've got loads of questions to ask you, like, what's Santa like in real life?
Dan knew this was coming as well.
Just for those who aren't watching, I mean, even if you're watching, you can't tell. Elliot's 4'6", so we're just making some
5'6", but
slight height.
He's got more booster seats than you. Right, we'll be nice now.
I don't think you will.
This isn't the reason why we've asked you on, but welcome to It's Take Two and the studio for maybe the final time.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, we might be in a different studio next time because we said on the previous episode I'm moving house and I've made sure I've got a place where we have a studio. Elliot is a good friend of ours, isn't he? It's tolerable. We have him on board for the films that you direct. Your brother, who's also Oliver, a previous guest on the show.
Working through the family now.
Yeah. We'll put a side-by-side comparison.
We've done all the Mitchell brothers now. They've all been on.
Well, we've slated Cal enough, haven't we? But
I forgot about Cal.
yeah, there is a third.
It happens. Yeah.
Phil, Grant, they're still to come. But welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So what are we doing today? Have you done Christmas dinner or anything like that?
No,
Christmas episode?
turkey's still defrosting. What have we got lined up on this episode?
I should ask you that because you'd be able to answer that better.
You don't know, do you?
No.
Okay, I've got mince pies actually. Don't want them.
No, I've had 2 today already.
I don't like mince pies.
Fine.
Everyone brought them to my house the other day, so I've got about 3 packs now.
I should have brought some. I'd have munched on them. We've got a packed show for you today. Oh, I'm struggling with it.
No, just tune down. Just
That's a bit better. Back to my height. Just tilt your mic a bit, lad.
does it normally like this?
Oh yeah. This is going really well.
What's on today's Christmas themed episode?
So we're going to be going through, and we've given El homework in advance of top 5 Christmas films that are your top 5. It doesn't have to be the best made films, but 5 films that you love at Christmas.
Opinions, isn't it?
Yeah. We'll also be going through, because it's Filmmaking podcast, some of the top releases from this year that we think is most beneficial to upcoming filmmakers.
Kit-wise.
Yeah.
That sounded like we were still talking about Christmas films. Which
Look out for Red One on Amazon Prime.
Oh, God. I just think what are they doing spending £200 million on that?
On The Rock. It cost £200 million. So
Yeah, he was insane.
Can I keep going through today's itinerary?
Go for it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about some of our favourite releases and then we'll make a top 5 out of them. Probably the best way, rather than go through 15 bits of kit. If we did 5 each. So we'll run through them and then we'll pick the favourites. We've got some other stuff to come.
No, but I had some ideas. I thought one thing that would be useful was the most useful bit of kit we've bought this year, and also the most useless bit of kit.
Yeah,
because I bought some stuff I haven't even used it yet.
Same.
What a waste of money. I know. So I'm going to go through what I bought that I haven't got any use out of.
Sorry, all I'm seeing is El like a tennis referee. Deuce. Yeah, so hopefully it should be a good show. Shall we crack on?
Let's get started.
Do you want to say roll the...
Oh, roll the intro, yeah.
Let's roll it.
Dun, 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 dun.
I don't know the intro. Ruined it. Okay. I've not watched enough episodes, sorry.
No one else.
let's start.
My back's killing on this.
Is it? Are you all
You want
right?
to swap?
No, it's
Do you want a proper pillar?
survive.
Do you want a pillar behind you, Mr. Where is it?
I need an orthopedic chair. Shy. Now carry on. I'm a trooper. Go on.
Let's kick off the Christmas special with our top 5 Christmas films of all time.
As a collective, yeah.
We're doing 5 to
couldn't
1.
even name
1 to 5.
5. I don't think.
What, 5 Christmas films?
Not
You
good
can't.
ones.
Someone hasn't heard of Google. Shall we start off with the guest?
That's me.
Should do really, shouldn't we?
Yeah. Do I need to make notes of these?
Yeah.
Shall I be note keeper? Let's go 5 to 1.
Yeah.
Okay. At number 5 of Elliot's top Christmas films. Dun, 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 dun. Go.
I think this is a bit of a cheat. I've got Home Alone 2.
Yeah, Home Alone 2 is pretty good.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
Lost in New York. You must have.
I've only watched the first one about 2 years ago.
You will have seen Home Alone 2.
Well,
You might not have,
Fun
if that's the
fact for the
case.
viewers: Donald Trump's in that film.
Oh yeah, he's got
Oh,
a
I have.
cameo. Yeah.
That's how do you know it just from that?
just I'm a big fan of him.
Say that. I would say that.
Jesus.
Home Alone 2, I argued with someone the other day. I actually think on its day it can be better than Home Alone 1 if you're in the right mood and if you're feeling
I quite like it. Yeah. I haven't
festive.
seen it for years, but I do like it. It's a good one.
Home Alone Lost in New York.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 4.
Number 4, I'm actually going to go Home Alone 1.
Seeing a pattern.
Quite low.
How many Home Alones is there?
There's about 5.
There is.
They redid
There
one
is
with Zach Braff,
6.
didn't they? Home Alone.
Yeah. No, it's some kid who looks like 8. He's got really goofy glasses.
Yeah, it's from Jojo Rabbit, isn't it?
It's not. Oh, it is him.
Yeah.
I knew he looked familiar.
But who's the guy in it?
I don't know. I've never seen it. I shan't be watching it.
I'm sure it's Zach Braff. I watched, and it's Erin from The Office.
Oh,
I tried
I've got a
watching
soft spot
5
for Erin.
minutes. I know we're not one to slag off films on it, but fucking hell, it's abysmal.
Really?
Yeah, it's really bad. Carry on. Yeah, sorry.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Number 3.
Oh my! Am I saying why or just?
Give a
just
quick
listing?
one. Yeah.
Home Alone 1 is better than Home Alone 2, but I'll say,
Fair
maybe
enough.
just for the score, I think. And
The
yeah.
score. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The bit where he walks in the church and all the choir are singing. Oh, goosebumps.
Number 3, I think we all have collectively the same reason, is The Holiday.
That wouldn't even be on my top 5. I
You-
don't get it.
oh,
No,
I
I do not
don't.
get the love for it.
Yeah, I
at
don't
all.
understand why
I think
people
it's
don't like The
absolutely
Holiday.
mid. I'm struggling
Man
to
United
name.
currently in the Premier League. It's not even top half.
I'm struggling to name 5 Christmas films, and it still won't be in there.
Why don't you like it?
It's just shit. I don't know. It's just boring. I think.
Yeah, there's something about it. I've got another film that people either have that or mine as like they're one of their top films, and I don't want 2 of them. And it's watchable, but I'm not in a rush to watch it.
So number 2.
Yeah, number 2.
Love Actually. I think Love Actually is kind of controversial. Some of the plot lines are a little bit weird. He runs to Portugal. He knows like 3 sentences, says them all wrong. It's a bit weird. But hey, it's a good cast, so
Fair enough.
Yeah,
And number 1, the greatest Christmas film of all time is Die Hard. And I don't want any
and that's it for
groans.
today's show, guys. We're gonna have a deep
what an
talk
absolute
and question
ending
our
to the
choices
show,
and
that
guests.
is.
It is a Christmas film. It's set at Christmas. That's the rule. There's jingle bells in it. It's a Christmas film. If you watch an episode of Friends saying Christmas, is it a Christmas episode? Yes.
I can
It's
see
exactly
the
the
online
same
arguments brewing.
I just.
I'm a controversial guy.
I'd take The Holiday over that as a Christmas film.
No,
too, yeah.
I didn't think this was Bob's list. I thought it was mine.
That's very true. In order of fairness, shush.
John said
Still-
opinions.
Right. Shall I go through mine?
Do you have to?
Yeah, go on then. I don't know what my 5 would be. I should have planned this.
I've got some.
Sorry.
We'll wait.
This is why I have to spend loads of time editing because I'm cutting out.
Let
these
me
ones.
write it down.
Right, number 5 for me is one that I don't think many people know of.
Here we go.
I know what you're going to say.
Earlier on, I was saying let's do some recommendations of non-mainstream films we've seen this year. Yeah. I thought that was quite nice. Jord
Yeah, that'd
clapped
be in
back.
fairness.
Jord clapped back with, "Oh, I think mine would be About Time and The Boat That Rocked."
I've watched both of them films this year, actually.
Great films.
Great film.
Not exactly indie films.
I didn't realise it had to be indie. I thought you said mainstream or indie. Right, number 5 for me is a nostalgic one. And it's from 1985 and it's called Santa Claus the Movie, which kind of does what it says on the tin. It's got...
Is that with Tim Thing?
Is it
Tim Allen?
The Simone?
No, so there's loads of Christmas films about Mr. Claus, the Santa Claus film, but Santa Claus : the movie it's about 40 years old now. It's proper old school. It's got John Lithgow, Dudley Moore, and someone off Heartbeat. in it. No, genuinely, she's in Heartbeat. She's the woman in Keeping Up Appearances as well. I forgot her name, Judy someone. And but it's good. It's a cracking. It's a proper nostalgic film. It's really like, because I grew up watching it, but I'd give it a watch. But I think some people now will just think this is shit because there's good films out there. But
that's nice.
yes, it's
That's
a nice
number
one.
5 for you, is it?
That's number 5. Yeah.
I feel like I've been severely mistreated.
Why?
Because you said that means a lot to me, and he said, "Oh, that's nice."
You got to earn your medals, mate.
Yeah.
Guest treatment is
Just
very
you coming in
poor.
with Die Hard on holiday.
Good film.
Shy, man.
Number 4.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Grinch.
Fair enough.
If you want.
It's not a amazingly like shot film or anything like that. Like it's quite bad. Like everything looks like it's on Homes Under the Hammer because everything's like this. Lighting's terrible and all that, but it works for the film.
Yeah, the Grinch is nice. Yeah.
And like the Grinch, like he's just appearing on my feed all the time at the minute.
Yeah, valid.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So yeah, the Grinch number 4.
I won't put it
Pretty
top
good.
5, but I like it.
Yeah.
And what I've done is I've been quite tactical. Is my top 5 is what I'd happily watch over a weekend, so none of them feel quite repetitive, so I could watch them all and not get bored.
Till he came up with this idea.
I've had longer to dwell on
Planning
it.
it for weeks. Chuck this on me today.
Number 3.
Yeah.
Love Actually.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, fair.
Which
Got
goes
me
without
in top
saying.
five.
I feel like
Isn't
it's
it?
the
Yeah.
same
It's
reasons
amazing.
everyone
Yeah.
says, yeah.
Number 2, another bad film, but it's really good. Nativity.
Oh, Nativity's top 5 for me.
Yeah,
I fucking
is it?
love it. Yeah.
I must agree, to be fair.
There's something about
I've
it.
written that down as number 1. Maybe.
Have you? Number
that might
1?
be my number 1.
I think
I
it's
love
a-
it.
Yeah. I would forget my list. I might redo mine.
No,
'Cause I
no.
feel
it's in print.
Too late.
It's already out. Yeah.
Nativity's amazing.
One thing that really annoys me.
I know what you're going to say. You've told me about this.
The plugs.
Point. Yeah, the plugs. Yeah.
Plugs.
Yeah. They go over to America.
Look how happy he is to mention this.
yeah.
Go on.
And you can see UK plugs in the background.
That's so they don't go over to America.
Exactly.
Oh,
Well, they must have shot a few
God.
things like on the beach and stuff.
Yeah.
That could be in the UK. Cornwall, for me to Cornwall.
Spitting image in Miami.
But yeah, it's such a
Plugs. I can't believe that.
it's such like mid-level film production wise.
The lighting's awful, isn't it?
it's
There's so
so
much
bad.
overexposed.
Have we spoke about this in the past? I feel like we might have done.
You've told me about the plugs before.
It looks like it was shot on like a EX1
Yeah.
like level. It's just, but it's so good.
It'd be
and-
interesting to see what cameras and what kit they were shooting.
yeah,
Really brought the
true.
fun into Nativity here, haven't it?
on. But it's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's the thing, like, it doesn't matter how bad it is.
Silly lunatic.
Not too bad.
Little ball.
Are you Bob?
Are you
Yeah.
Bob?
Nah, he's a little blonde kid, isn't he?
And he's got like a proper Brummy accent. I could be.
He's
people
about
used-
4'6",
People used to
isn't
call
he?
me Bob at school. Really want to be in the play.
That's great.
Jack Grealish was in Nativity.
He's a Brummy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what an amazing film.
I only
Yeah.
have one drawback with Nativity. Mr. Poppy shouldn't be allowed near children. Like
He wasn't CBR, DBS checks,
not
whatever
at
it's
all.
called.
Like,
Yeah.
I know he's nepo because he got in because of the teachers, the headmistress.
Yeah,
his
that's
auntie,
it.
but
That's the
I like
point.
that.
It's a plot. in
someone
the
should have seen me
film.
one lesson and gone, this guy is not safe around children.
He's only
like,
a teaching assistant, though, isn't he?
Still, that's the point.
And then number 1, you'll probably know it anyway, but Elf.
Fair enough.
Got like more tradition. Me and my mum watch it every Christmas Eve, so you can't slate it because
should've
otherwise
said that,
you're,
sorry.
my mum.
I'm
will
not
be
sure about Elf,
disappointed
to
in
be
you.
fair. I
Why?
don't know if that... It's all right. I think it's all right.
When did it come out? I'm trying to think out.
2000, I'm gonna go.
2004, I think.
Ooh, I'm gonna go
Go in the middle, 2002.
Let's see
3.
if I can find it.
I think you might be right there. 2003. That rings a bell, actually.
2003, Elf. Who said that? Was that you?
I said well done.
Told you we'd prepped for this segment.
Yeah, you have.
Have you watched?
Oh, I've missed a killer one out of mine.
Go
My
on.
list is so undercooked.
What did you miss out?
Can I do like 2 honourable mentions?
Go on then.
Can I do like 2 honourable mentions?
Yeah.
Nativity. I also like Nativity 2 as well, mainly for David Tennant because I think his dynamic's actually better.
What is the Martin Freeman?
I actually think it is. Yeah.
Oh, I see. I think Martin Freeman was like
He's really
perfectly
good.
casted for
Oh, he
that
was.
film.
He was. I just think the dynamic's better in the second film. Do you know what? I'm actually going to really put a controversial one out since that's where I'm on.
I don't know if
I'm
I
going
know.
to go.
Welcome to the
Watch
top
the
20 films.
second one.
But
Yeah, sorry guys. And 7th honourable mention.
4 hours.
That didn't take long.
4 hours. Let's see if anyone gets that reference. Actually,
What? Yeah.
Leave a comment because we don't get any comments on these bloody videos.
This is what we need in engagement, interaction with our 6 followers here.
Yeah. So what's the reference of?
4 hours. That was
Get in touch.
quite
That's very
wasn't
good.
it?
Yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah. 4 hours.
What's your other honourable mention then?
Last Christmas, the Amelia Clark one. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
The only reason I like it is because it's like a who's who of London, and I go to London a lot, and I like it.
Let me do mine quickly because we
go
need to
go for
move
it.
on
Yeah,
from this.
sorry, guys.
Home Alone 2.
At number 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deck the Halls. Home Alone 1.
Oh, we're reeling through them. Okay.
Love Actually.
No reasons?
We've run out of time. Home Alone 1 in 3rd place.
Okay.
Love Actually. Nativity number 1.
Ooh.
I love it.
Ooh. So what were the common ones? So we've got Nativity, Love Actually, Home Alone 2's
Well,
featured,
I think Love Actually was the only one that was in all 3.
and Home Alone 1. Oh, we can't have 2 Home Alones in the top 5.
Why not? Oh, we have to pick, don't we? As a
Oh,
group?
yeah. As a collective then, what's number 1? For me, it's Love Actually or Nativity.
I think I'd go Love Actually.
I'd be happy with Love Actually number 1.
And then Nativity, close second.
I think Love Actually plays better over here as well, for the UK.
Yeah.
To all the international listeners.
Yeah. Love Actually is, I think because there's so many different storylines in that, a lot of people can relate to a story more, and
It's a very messy
it's well
film,
made. It's, yeah.
So Love Actually number 1.
Okay. Locked in.
Second, Nativity. People happy with
Gotta be.
Nativity?
I
Second?
think so, but even though I prefer the second one, I love number 1 as well, so I'm fine with that.
Bro. Third, this is where it's going to get tricky.
Got to be Home Alone 1, we all said it.
Home Alone
I
1,
think,
fair enough.
Okay.
You're
You're not a fan?
Did you not put it on your list?
No. But I think because I didn't watch it as a kid, I've just not got it, I've just not got the to it. For the audio listeners,
Christ.
it's not got the
Gumption.
nostalgic attachment.
Oh,
that a lot
that's
of
what you
people
meant.
have. Yeah, sorry.
Good
That's
benefited
terrifying.
me.
That wouldn't have been in my top 5 guesses of what you meant, but
All right. Well, we'll put it in anyway. Why not? Home Alone in 3rd place. 4th. So what are the options?
you both said Elf, didn't you?
I didn't say Elf.
Oh, good. Elf can't go in the top 5 then. That's fine.
Sorry, Mum. Tried.
I think we might get some controversy on that from the millions of listeners because
I know.
Elf is pretty popular.
Any love for Die Hard at all?
Absolutely
That's not
What is
Absolutely not.
So are you stating it's a bad film?
No, I won't watch it at Christmas.
Fair enough.
Watch it in June.
I can only watch
Yeah.
it at Christmas now.
Home Alone 2.
I think Home Alone 2, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Don't want 2 Home Alones in the top 5.
What are you voting then?
The Grinch.
I'm okay with the Grinch being in the
I'm
top
all right
5,
with the
yeah.
Grinch being in.
Thanks, guys.
That can be number 4. Number 5 then, what have we got?
The Holiday. I'm dying on a pedestal here. You guys go, I'll just watch.
I don't want to put Holiday in.
Yeah, fair enough. You're wrong, but fair enough.
We haven't got anything animated, have we? Is there any good animated ones?
I don't like animated films.
Snowman the movie used to freak me out as a kid, you know. Walking in the air.
I had
Oh,
a
yeah.
nightmare about that film. once.
Horrible.
Don't put Channel 4
Terrifying.
on at 3:30 then, because it's normally always on. And then the fucking Snow Dog after, whatever it is.
Oh, God.
Snow Dog. Oh, there's a sequel.
Number 5. I mean, I didn't even want to do this segment, and I'm the only one trying to get it done. Deck the Halls was there
I've
for
never
me.
even seen
You
it, I
guys
can't
haven't
put it
seen it.
What
just
about
need-
It's a Wonderful Life?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it'd have been in mine.
Yeah. For the older listeners.
That should be number 4, then Grinch can be
Yeah.
5.
I think that's fair.
Deal. All right.
All right, brilliant. That's
Well
the
done,
list we've decided, so everyone can stop talking about it now. If you're watching and you've got a different list, you're wrong. We've decided. We've come to a collective agreement that is the definitive
Official,
list.
yeah.
And Die Hard isn't on there.
I'll get in touch with IMDb. Let them know.
Let them
to
know.
update.
Send it across.
Yeah.
CC me and done.
Tell us, all the viewers, what you do, what you aspire to be in the film industry, because you're quite relatively new to working in films, and you had like a little moment of realization, didn't you, that films is what you want to work on as a career.
Yeah, I think about a year ago, I want to say, I worked on another feature film that we did. One of the Relic Productions kind of brought on as a bit of like, I don't know, nepo if you want to call it, but like to help out extra crew and stuff. And I just found myself really falling in love with the whole kind of atmosphere, especially on set and stuff. Found myself having a bit more of an interest for camera, not yawning when people were talking about it. Just kind of like in general, getting a bit more excited about something, because I never really was that passionate. I was like sport when I was younger.
Yeah.
I did at university, dropped out, as most people do. And I was just kind of like, I just want to try something else. And something just kind of clicked. I was in kind of just a really menial job. wasn't really enjoying what I was doing, and I was like, let's just see where this takes us, and touch wood, the opportunities have come, and it's been quite a good year for me.
So what have you been doing this year, Al? Give us an idea of what sort of jobs you've been doing.
I worked with you a lot this year, which is lucky for me. It's been fun, a lot of like AC stuff, I think, mainly, if we call it that. Second camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, on a feature film we've been working on with a mutual friend of yours. That's been pretty fun. It's been interesting because I think I was talking to you about this the other week, wasn't I? I was really nervous going into it, and I think the quicker I've learned stuff, the more my nerves have just kind of settled a little bit, which is cool. A lot of weddings and things. I work with my other brother, who was mentioned earlier.
Can I butt in there and ask you what you think? Because we've chatted about it, wedding videography for filmmakers or people who want to level up on the filmmaking. How beneficial do you think wedding videography is?
I think it's given me a space to kind of creatively make mistakes. So because I'm not the only one, I've been doing it as a second shooter. If 20% of my shots get used, or even 5%, it's still valuable to Oliver because I'm there as kind of like as an assistant. And I think I used to work with Oliver when I was like 15, and it was mainly just moving things around. I would make sure I press record, which I definitely haven't missed this year.
Still got some weddings left this year.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. There's one more. So
Don't fuck up.
I'll try not to. But yeah, it's kind of a way of being a bit more free to just kind of learn, ask questions, have a lot of time to be around cameras, because that's a big thing as well. Like, I didn't really know half the rules, how cameras even worked over 12 months ago. I just kind of acted like I did, or just watched other people. So now kind of learning how things are kind of working, and a bit more like the way they operate. I'm a bit more like tuned in. I think it sounds cringe to say, but have I enjoyed learning?
Mm-hmm. Has it been has it at times been too much to learn, or does it feel because you enjoy what you do, it never feels like too much, if that makes sense?
I think the work.
There is a lot to learn in what we do, and like
100%.
we're still learning now. So for someone who's coming in and then suddenly within a year who's done wedding videography, has worked on these independent film sets, that can sound quite like whoa to a lot of people. How have you found that?
I think it's mainly been like surrounding yourself with people who aren't going to take the mick out of you and belittle you for not knowing stuff. Oliver's one of the best for like, I can just ask him anything, and he's pretty much like, yeah, I don't know, or ask someone else, or I'll tell you. He'll always give me the freedom to ask a question and be a bit more, because like I hate going into things and not knowing what I'm doing, not being the cleverest in the room, which is most of the things I do. Learning the amount I've had to learn. There's been no deadline. It's not been, September, you need to know this, this, and this. It's, I might learn 20 different things in March, not learn anything in April. The work's come spaced out enough for me to be like, I can go home, research 100 different things. Bob's maybe said a sentence that I don't fully understand at all. So I can be like, oh, what does this mean? I can ask you on Peaceful when there's an hour gap, 2 hour gap. I can be a bit like, what's this? This don't make any sense. Yeah, so I think putting myself in environments where I can make mistakes, that would be the best thing to say, I think.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth in that, because like we hear of film sets and the egos that come on the film sets are like higher than what we currently do, and there is that pressure to feel like you know absolutely everything because you don't want to ask a gaffer or someone who's really experienced in their field what this is or what's. I mean, most of them are nicknamed as well. They're not even the names of the actual bits of equipment.
Yeah.
And then it's different names in different countries or regions, and it's like there's so much to have to, or feel like you have to know. But surrounding yourself by people who would genuinely appreciate that they want in a position that this person who's recently come onto the film sets or in that environment, we were all in that position once.
100%.
And I think you've got to surround yourself by people like that in order for you to comfortably improve yourself. Because if you feel the pressure or you feel nervous to ask, you're never going to learn. You're going to slow down your own progression.
I think what's nice about working as a second on weddings, though, is there's not loads that you absolutely need to know, is there?
Nah.
You'll go through a few stages of learning, but then after that, it's practice and getting it right and working on your skills.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think with weddings, there's a lot of things like minimal kit on weddings. That's a huge plus. It's why a lot of people do it. It's one of Oliver's favourite things about doing it. And it's not in the sense of you're not trying it. It's just you don't need it. You don't need half of it. Most people, my favourite things are like people are always in makeup, so they all look great. People look nice, so it's visually easier to do your job because people look so good. And it's a thing of like, you're in a place where most people, I'll touch wood, are in a good mood. So you're not in a space of like, oh, someone's 12 hours into a really long day. You can tell the flagging, you can see it on the face. Weddings obviously can be stressful for some people, but they're happy days most of the time. So you're filming, and it's most of the time spirits are up. So you're kind of doing it in an environment where it's quite nice to do it. You know,
I think for me, like, it's the opportunity to. I see wedding videography as a chance to be. You can be as creative and cinematic as you want. There's moments where you only have one chance, which, that pressure environment. If you can manage that and and do it properly, it pays off really nicely. Get some really nice stuff. But there's other opportunities where you've got 2 hours to get B-roll of guests doing whatever was going on the day, and there's your time to really like perfect your own. Even use the mental, what's it called, like like muscle memory.
Yeah.
Of framing things nicely, looking at things in the background that's a nice backdrop.
Yeah.
And it becomes automatic. And
you start to scan a lot more.
Yeah.
You can do it by default kind of thing.
Yeah. And once it becomes second nature, for me, that helps when I'm doing B-roll and you've only got half an hour to shoot on location. You think, right, I've got to make this look up, at least average to good. And it might be a bit of a shithole. That's what I'm very thankful for with wedding videography. I know wedding videography almost cheapened you as a brand as a freelancer. And I've now ventured away from wedding videography, but I'll always, to this day, remain like grateful for doing them, even if it's just for a few years, or being a second shooter with someone that who does it, to learn the basics of creating nice stuff quickly. Seeing as we're a filmmaking podcast, let's talk a bit about kit.
Yeah.
So this year, how would you say this year's been for kit releases? Do you think it's been up there in terms of, what's the word?
I think
changing the game, or do you think it's been a steady year?
I mean, fairly steady. I think one thing that's been happening is a lot more 32-bit flow recorders have been coming out, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
There's like Tascam have just done another one, FRV2 or something like that, which looks pretty good. It's 2 XLR inputs, time code in and out. Tiny little thing, just records to a memory card.
Yeah.
But there's loads, and all the audio brands seem to just be replacing their kind of lines with 32-bit flow, which is good. Apart from that, fairly steady.
Yeah.
I think there's only been a couple of major cameras, I would say.
It feels like, we chatted about this in the last episode, but it feels like 2 or 3 years ago was that era where lots of cameras were being announced. Sony releasing them every like 3 or 4 months. There was a new camera being released.
Yeah, Sony have not done anything big this year, have they, for film?
No.
Really.
And we chatted about whether they'll bring like an upgraded FX3 out, but not an A7, whether they're going down that route moving forward, which it feels like they probably are.
Yeah, they've not done anything this year. They've not done like an A7S4 or FX3 Mark II or FX6.
And we're now 4 years into the A7S3
that's
being in production. So previously, before the A7S3, it was like 3 years, weren't it, for like the new GH ranges and all the cameras? And we were all expecting an A7S3 in 2018.
I do think the A7S3 was probably ahead of the game though, because there's still not many cameras that are offering 4K 100 frames.
You said it's like time or something.
I think it's
going to stick around for a while.
Yeah. There's still only one thing that really bugs me on it, and that's the stabilization.
Yeah.
Apart from that, like, there's nothing that I don't like about it.
For me, it's shutter angle.
Oh, well, yeah, but
waveform, but they can
why have they not done that? That's fucking stupid, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is so slack.
As a video-centric camera, you'd have thought that they'd have shutter angle as just an expected feature to have, and for some reason they've not. Do you get it on the FX3? You did. That's what's really irritating, because I bought the A7S3, I think before the FX3 came out, thinking, well, it's just the design, it's the shape and the build of the body that is the difference. And, I didn't mind having the viewfinder. I'd have preferred that at the time. But then now I'm realizing that the FX3 is still having firmware updates that is bringing out a lot more, and the A7S3 is just falling behind. I feel a bit like I opted for the wrong choice, which is annoying. I could maybe swap it out because I know the FX3 is on sale at the minute, but yeah, that is irritating.
But I like the EVF as well. And you use the EVF a lot, don't you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends what you're used to, I suppose. But I think it's stupid that they haven't done it.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works, obviously, internally, but I imagine shutter angle is a fairly easy software.
Surely.
There's no hardware to go with that.
You're marrying up the degree angle to a particular speed.
And for film, there's no argument for shutter speed, I don't think, over shutter angle.
No.
I don't know any point you would want it. You could argue for it.
No.
So what's the... it does my head in.
Yeah. Sorry, before it gets too heated, let's move on.
So this week, sponsored by Sony.
You looked at quite irate about that, then you were like, it doesn't need it.
Yeah, it is irritating.
Do you know why?
No, it's nothing to do with like, because I mean on the A7S2 had a time limit for tax reasons. You can only record up to 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's all gone now anyway.
It's nothing to do with that. It just seems like such an obvious thing that they can add in, but they just chose not to.
That's one of the things I really like about Panasonic, is that they seem to go above and beyond on features, I think,
They listen to
in
the
terms
requests
of value as well.
Yeah.
You ever thought like on big companies though, like iPhone, they hold things back so they can release things slower and have more of like a product range?
Yeah, definitely, but shutter angle should just be in all video cameras, I think.
Mm-hmm. To me,
It's not a big enough draw for a camera, is it?
no.
I don't think. So you just include it.
Yeah.
I mean, Panasonic have got it on the S5, which secondhand you can get them for like 600 quid now. And that's got shutter angle and waveform.
Yeah.
And the 3 and a bit grand A7S3 doesn't.
And as well, given the A7S3 is used for a lot of, whether it's wedding videographers or, like corporate levels, one-man band, freelancers and things like that. Those people want to be filming quickly and efficiently. Having an angle, and so if you're changing your frame rate to 25 to 50 or to 100, that angle's just set. You're good to go straight away. Like when I had cameras in the past and it didn't have shutter angle, and you're shooting at 100p going, oh shit, I didn't change the shutter from 50 to 200. It's irritating and it's time consuming. So for the target audience that the A7S3 or a lot of A7S3 users will be, you'd have thought that Sony would have just added that in to help those sort of filmmakers out, and they've not. Any others that caught your eye? Or are you going to steal mine because I told you 10 minutes ago?
The aperture Infini mats look pretty good. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that blow up, I think.
I'd check.
You can. They've got like a built-in inflatable softbox.
Yeah.
That looks awesome.
Yeah. And the modular as well, so you can just add as many as you want to create a massive light source.
Yeah, they're a couple of grand, I think.
I suppose you're paying for it, aren't you?
Yeah. They look wicked.
The thing with aperture is you've got the Amaran lineup and then the what's now Storm. I think it used to be Light Storm.
Yeah.
Now it's Storm, but then you've got the Matt's Infini bars. The quality of them are going to be so much better than the Amaran standard. Like the F22s, the F21s.
Yeah.
They do the job for a lot of filmmakers, but yeah, I imagine that the Infini range and the Storm range are like high end.
Yeah. What about you?
Speaking of lights, the new...
You bought one?
The new Storm 1000C looks great. Not to own. I've got a 600D and it's phenomenal, but it's limited because it's daylight only. But the 1000C that would tempt me to use that on studio shoots and things like that, or some fiction shoots. I think the 600, and I've used the 600C as well in the past, but I'm fairly sure that's not as bright as the 600D, just given the chip, and it needs to have the RGB and everything within that. But the 1000 is almost making up for the lack of light in the 600C range. So to have a 1000C like be phenomenal. And I think I'd look at that for, like I say, for studio work or fiction at a independent level. Obviously for your big, sorry, my air freshener sneezing. At high level, you'd be looking at 1200s, or like, is it the Nanlux Evokes? They've got 2400 and they're 1200. They're ridiculously powerful.
Yeah.
But for what we do, that would be a really good light to just have in a van or just ready on standby to use, whether that's for music video shoots, replicating sunlight or moonlight. Yeah, this just seems like a really good all-rounder that I'd be tempted to look at and think about using next year moving forward if I get on some higher end stuff.
Is that one like the hardest thing, trying to justify why you get a piece of kit? Do you have like a spreadsheet and be like, I would use it for A, B, and C?
You know I love a good spreadsheet.
I know you love a good spreadsheet, yeah.
I'm not going to go into spreadsheets, but it's good to look at the pros and cons.
Like a list.
To me, there's a cut-off point, which I've learned this year, and we'll go into this a bit later in the episode, of knowing when you need to buy something or when you should just rent it. Yeah, because we might have both made purchases where you buy something, it doesn't get used, and you think, well, that's come out of my pocket see it as an investment. If it doesn't quite work out, you've wasted your own money. Obviously, price is a factor, and hoping that you think, well, if I get this, will I get my money's worth using?
Yeah, for sure.
But it's good to work out the pros and cons and what you think its limitations are, or if it's too much for what you're currently doing, whilst also thinking, will it give me opportunity to budge forwards a little bit? I wouldn't go straight from this, 0 to 100, because the chances of you getting on projects that need that level that's a big jump. It's a much bigger jump. If that answers your question.
That's a great answer.
Thank you.
Very media trained.
13 episodes.
Don't lift your hand up because you're covering my camera. People can't see me then. What's your next bit of kit, Jordan, for 2024?
Well,
the roundup,
Robert,
whatever we're calling it. Go on.
The Shinobi 2 from Atmos. I don't own it.
No.
But I've heard good things about it. I've heard mixed things about
What's
it.
different about it?
So it's 5.2 or 5.5 inch screen. It's slimmer. I'm sure it's slimmer in its build, but it looks really nice. 1500 nit display.
Pretty good.
And then you have camera controls through the screen.
Okay.
Which to me, with my FX6, I mean, I look at yours and you've got is it a Ninja or?
I've got a Ninja on mine, yeah.
Yeah, like you've got the Ninja on. I would love a bigger monitor on my FX6.
Yeah.
But I've always felt like I'd miss out on like the tap to focus and things like that the screen has. The Sony LCD. Whereas with the Shinobi 2, it's a 5-inch that you can tap to focus. You can trigger the recording. There's certain camera controls with exposure that you can use on the Shinobi.
That's pretty cool.
For 350 quid.
That's like expensive. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I'm like,
do you
I'd love to
definitely
get
the tap to focus?
On it's certain cameras, I think Sony, Canon, and I want to say Fuji or Nikon.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're all compatible, but it's through USB-C. Just need to make sure that like the connection mode set to like PC tether or PC remote.
So have you got to put a HDMI and a USB-C in?
Yes, I believe so.
And then just powered on MPF, I guess?
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
It claims it can last all day on a decent sized MPF, which is whether or not using the remote tether and stuff will drain that. But yeah, it seems really good. And obviously you get better monitors out there.
I don't know, 1500 nits is pretty bright.
But obviously you've got contrast ratios and everything else that goes into it, and the actual...
Yeah, but the Atmos ones are good.
They are, they're great.
I mean, it depends how much you want to spend, doesn't it?
Yeah. But like Portkeys, their monitors are amazing. The new small HD ones look incredible. So I wouldn't say Atmos have the best screens, but for the price, it is the best in that region because, they're close to what you're shooting, through the camera when you're looking at the camera versus the monitors. They've got enough features. I like the design of the interface and stuff. So I'd be tempted with something like that next year because I don't use my Ninja enough. The only time I use my Ninja is if I'm screen recording a computer or a laptop for some corporate stuff or for like a YouTube video or anything like that. Don't comment because I know I've not done one for a while.
I said a word.
But that's it.
Yeah, that's fair. I record to mine because I've got a few SSDs, so on my FX6 I've got it set up so it's trigger record, so it's always recording a backup, which is quite nice.
It's a great option to have. Anything else, Bob?
Well, yeah, you were taking a mic that I haven't done my own work, but I have because I've got.
You just had a quick
got
Google.
A bit of no, I didn't have a quick Google. The Aperture 80C. The Storm.
That was a potential one. Yeah.
Which I know is similar to the 1000C that you were talking about. So it
Not in brightness, but
feels a little bit that I've copied your own work, but just changed the name. But I think
GPT'd it.
Yeah, I think that size of light's really useful. So I think that's something I might look at some point. So I've got two of the Lightstorm 60Xs, and I really like them. And this one looks even better.
So what do you think it can be used for?
Well, it's a smaller build, but then just having the colour options on it. Is it 80C or 100C?
I think it's 80.
I think it's 80.
Then again, using
it probably works out about the same brightness, doesn't it?
Yeah. I know they've got a new, this is getting a bit geeky, but they've got like a new Blair engine. It's different to what they've done with the previous Lightstorms.
Oh, the Blair engine.
But apparently it's more technologically advanced, and therefore you can get more power output.
This is boring me now. I brought it up.
No, it's interesting. It's been I just twitched. It's the lights.
What would you use it on though, like what scenarios would you need that light for, just to educate the viewers if they're unaware of it?
Just shoots and stuff.
On social matches and gone on it.
The rankings are shooting.
I mean, what?
Like back like
A shot like this, I'd put it here, and then I'd maybe put like colour on it, just for
it's a
when you need
handy
colour.
light. And I've heard you talk about the 6D, talking about us using it for vox pops, and
Yeah.
you know, it seems more, it packs a punch more than I think people realise, because you hear of the 300s, the 600s, 1200s, you think, God, what's an 80C light? But it is quite useful and can be used for a lot of people either starting out because they're not too expensive, or they can be really handy as kicker lights because they're tiny, they're small.
Yeah, I think it's good to have brighter lights. I've got a 300 as well, but I think my 60s probably get more use because most of the time they're bright enough and they're just easier to rig up and they're smaller. You don't have to have the big ballast and stuff like that. It's just all built into the light.
Yeah.
It's quite nice.
Seeing as you're a guest and we want to include you as, is there anything that you think is worth mentioning to the viewers this year as you've stepped into filmmaking? Has a camera caught your eye, or any piece of equipment?
Yeah, I think because I'm coming into it, so I'm kind of learning as I go. I think it came out last year, but the G9 Mark II, I've been using that a lot this year. I'd probably go for it just because it's very handy. Like you were saying about Sony earlier, it's definitely, Sony's like my favourite camera. I absolutely love it. But its issue is there's a stabilization on it, and it's a proper drawback, especially for, like you said earlier, doing weddings and stuff. It can look like jewelry, but you need it to look nice, cinematic. It's just a nice camera to use. I mean, we would talk about the mount. You prefer the mount on body, don't you?
Yeah, the G9 that one.
And
yeah.
I must say, on reflection, I think you're right. It's a nicer camera to hold.
Yeah.
But the G9 Mark II is not much worse. And
No, it's not.
I really enjoy it. Like I've really grown into it the last, like, I'd say 4 months, using it so often. Like it's pretty much what I mostly use, kind of on second shoots and stuff. And I've really, really grown to really enjoy it. Especially like the lenses we've got and stuff like that. It's a nice camera. The stabilization is definitely, it's USP if I was to say. But yeah, it's just a good camera.
It's good that you mentioned that as your thing. I think there's been a lot of debate over the years about whether Micro Four Thirds is dead and all the clickbait titles with it. But what you can pack into a camera with that sensor size was always, like, I think the specs that come in that 4/3 range, especially in Panasonic, is then pushed all the manufacturers in their full frame lineup to try and match them specs over the years.
Yeah, GH5 was first for 4K 10-bit internal.
Yeah, 4K. What did you get on the S1H when that came out? But
that's 3x2 open gate.
yeah,
I think it's like 5.7K.
so they've always been leading in the specs area.
Yeah.
And the G9 Mark II has got a lot of specs that, you know, I'd love to have, because I'm only, with my two cameras, I'm limited to 4K 100. So it'd be nice to have those, either different aspect ratios or resolutions that are a little bit higher for as and when you need it. It'd be good to get our hands on it sometime and, you know, test it out a little bit.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Speaking of which. Yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
Whoa!
Our own little bit of wicked magic.
That's only beneficial for the video viewers.
Oh,
But
yeah.
for the-
Sorry, yeah, we popped a little balloon. It's been here since episode 1, actually.
I'm going to
So
keep
we've
that as
had
a shower cap.
good value for money on these. These are quite cheap, but from Card Factory, they've not let us down there. It's been going for weeks. But we popped it, and lo and behold, there's a camera there.
That's been there all this time.
All this time.
All this time.
We can't post the thing again. Come, I've not brought it.
That was brilliant.
So what's this then?
You brought it.
I brought it. G9 Mark II. Here we go. I actually said it on an episode. If they released an MFT with phase detect, I'd get it, and they did.
Lo and behold.
And
Let's
I
just check it
borrowed
out for the wide.
So I borrowed Elliot's for a couple of jobs, and it sold me on it. It is absolutely unbelievable.
Which, as a full frame owner of two cameras, that's, you know, it's good to hear that you're still looking at.
Yeah, so FX6 still my main camera, obviously. A7S III is my B camera, but this is my C/B camera, because sometimes I'll use this over the A7S III. The stabilization is ridiculous, isn't it?
I had a go earlier, and it's mental. Panasonic
It's
have always been leading with stabilization, and when we moved to Sony, you can really tell the difference.
You were saying about the stabilization as well, which makes it even more steady.
Yeah, it looks like you're on a gimbal.
That used yesterday, it's insane.
That
Yeah.
what's it? Is it Boost?
Boost, where it makes
Bloody hell!
Yeah, so if you want to emulate being on a tripod. You turn on Boost IS and it just locks it in place.
Yeah.
That was at like 80mm as well, at 80mm equivalent.
And how much are they going for body only?
It's like 1600, which I waited a while thinking there'd be some trading offers, and they haven't done many offers on it. So whether that means it's selling well, I don't know. But it's kind of a similar price to the S52, which I don't know. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because people say that MFT should be cheaper, but I don't know if necessarily that's true. I don't think it has to be cheaper.
I think a lot of people who are starting to do the research into like top Micro Four Thirds cameras and all that, who are just starting out, I feel like they'd be naturally swayed to the GH range, so they'd probably look at a GH6 as a, rather than getting the latest GH7.
All right.
Hear me out. Rather than just going for the latest, go back one version, and they'd look at a GH6 and go, oh, look at the specs are great, blah blah blah. But actually, that for probably maybe a little bit more, but it would have been wildly out of like someone's purse for kit investment. You get a lot more in that with more up-to-date features like the phase detect.
Yeah.
You've got ridiculous features that I'm almost surprised that a Lumix camera that isn't in the GH lineup has got the specs that camera's got.
Yeah. But this is why I love Panasonic, and they're probably my favourite camera manufacturers. They will just chuck it all in there. I mean, it's got 5.7K, 50. I'll read them out. Yeah, I've got it in front of me. What am I doing? Here we go.
Saves me a job having to research it after to stick on the edit.
Right, so this is in MOV. Oh, it can record ProRes to an SSD as well. You just plug an SSD in and you can do ProRes. I bought this for my own cash, by the way. Panasonic hasn't sent us this. We're not getting anything out of it. We don't get a trip to Japan.
Not yet.
Fucking Gerald whinged about. Shouldn't say that. I should be fucking jailed up.
If you're trying to get endorsements and deals, then
you like Gerald and done, but right. So full HD.
Whoa.
Up to 300 frames a second, I think, something like that. I've not used that, but what we want: 4K, 25, 50, 100 frames, 4K 50 all intra at 400 meg, 4K 100 10-bit 420 300 meg, cinema 4K with the same, and then 4.4K at 50p in 4.3. Are you alright?
Yep. God.
This for the nerds, isn't it? 5.7K in 25p 10-bit, 5.7K in 50p 10-bit, and then 5.8K at 25p in 10-bit in 4:3 aspect ratio. And that's that is insane.
Yeah.
To be able to shoot 4:3, but 5.8K 4:3, and that's for shooting socials and shooting your 9x16 and 16x9. It's wicked.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an absolute monster. It's really good.
That's a good shout.
Yeah, I think it's versatile. That's probably what it is. It's like you were saying earlier, you were listing things it can be used for. I thought it was a bit like a bit of a step back, because it's not full frame. So I thought like, oh, it won't be as good. But then when I kind of did the research and asked the right people, they said it was just a valuable camera to have.
Yeah. It's also a very good looking camera.
It looks nice. Yeah, it does look nice.
It's very nice.
I do think the original G9 looks better in the body, and I wish it had like a lock-in thing on the top.
Yeah.
I don't mind not having the screen, but on top.
Is it picking feathers or splitting hairs? Which one is it?
No, I don't think. No, yeah, it's good camera. It's really good.
Yeah.
And I think as well, with the whole MFT is dead thing, I think they can do stuff on smaller sensors that you can't do on others. I mean, the specs that you can get on that, it's unlimited recording to 2 cards, SSD. But then the GH7, that is an absolute beast, isn't it? I do like the look of that.
Well, the Mark 1 could only run half an hour, couldn't it?
Yeah.
So for long, we've done long ceremonies, speeches, things go back to weddings. You'd have to come round resetting. It's a ball ache, an absolute ball ache for it. So it running in full's huge.
Well, I think that was just that was the tax thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think hardware-wise, I bet they could have lifted that.
And what's the leap in price from the Mark 1 when that was new to?
I don't know.
So did have accommodated that, knowing that filmmakers
probably gone up, but
worth it.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's unreal. Welcome to What's Caught Your Iris.
That's gonna match the jingle that we've.
It's the last week with a fucking confetti cannon.
Oh, you're not doing anything like big?
We hoping for it.
Listen.
I was, yeah.
We'd pop the balloon and all.
We can get a chance to go to a car factory.
I mean, I've got a lovely little jingle to go over it. So yeah, welcome to What's Caught
Caught
Your
Your
Iris. Hello everyone and welcome to What's Caught Your Iris with me, Jordan Lee, Elliot Mitchell and...
Rob Worsley.
Hello.
Sounds like proper radio these days. I knew any.
tell you
It's like, oh my god.
On this week's episode, we're going to get... What's Caught Your Iris, Bob?
What's caught my iris this week is the Tascam FRA V2, which is the little 32-bit recorder I was talking about previously on the episode.
Nice.
See, I've called it back. Circular.
It's good, isn't it?
That's professional.
It's like a poem. That George Lucas thing. It's like a poem. Yeah, little FRA V2. I wish it was a bit cheaper. It's like 300 odd quid. I think if it was down to close to 200, I'd probably bought one already. Mm-hmm. But just for sending your sound, like your XLR mics, through that and then into camera, so you can have a 32-bit backup. Looks wicked. Time code in and out. Yeah, looks nice.
And who would that be suitable for?
I think solo videographers, wedding filmmakers would probably find use in it. Smaller crews, I would say, because it's only got 2 XLR inputs as well. So, like podcasts like this, you couldn't really run into it in.
Yeah,
because we need 3 anyway. Roll the jingle again.
Oh, we've only got the licensing for one per episode.
We've just got one shot at it.
You know.
Yeah, fair enough.
We spent all the budget last week on the confetti.
What's got your iris, Jordan?
Jesus.
Even more. Fell down.
The new Sony 2870 f2. I've just looked on Sony rumours. Apparently it's now in stock. I don't know if that's UK or America at the moment. I hadn't realised that had been announced or anything like that until I saw it recently and really like the idea of it. I've liked the look of the Canon equivalent because they brought one out a few years ago. If it's anything like the Canon, it'll be massive. And it probably has to be to have that range.
I think it's quite a bit lighter than the Canon.
Is it lighter?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Good, because it looks like a flask.
Tank,
Yeah, the Canon one is pretty big, but I've seen photographers and worked with photographers who have that lens and it looks amazing. I think some people 0.8 is not a big difference, but it'd be a very nice lens to have. If you've not got the 24-70 and you've got a bit of spare change, I'd probably be looking at that.
So what would you change your lens lineup to if you included that? Like, what would you get rid of? What would you keep? Because at the moment you got the 24-70 2.8, you got the 28-135 f4.
Yeah. Lose the 24-70. I was looking at upgrading that to the Mark II about 6 months ago because I really like the iris wheel on the actual lens that all the Mark II lenses have in the G Master lineup. I'm fairly sure that this 28-70 has it on there as well. So just for consistency and just for my own OCD with the lens lineup, it would be really nice to have that on. And there's just something about f2 that I really like the look of. When I use my 50mm, even at f2, it's a beautiful lens, and I'd rather go for that rather than at 50mm on my 24-70 at 2.8. There's something really nice about it. It seems really versatile. You've got a range of focal lengths for any interview between that focal range. GVs, it'd be amazing as well. So yeah, that's caught my iris quite a lot this week.
Would you keep the 28-135 f4? Because that kind of complements it, doesn't it?
It does. I just don't use that lens enough, to be honest with you. I've had it a few years now. When I first got it, I was like, this is an amazing lens for if I've got any ENG run and gun type shoots. There's limitations I find with it. And we've spoken about that in previous episodes. I think I prefer the G Master route or a few primes in the bag as well, if you can, rather than that for the type of stuff that I do.
Yeah. So do you think sell them both and get the 28-72?
Possibly, yeah.
We'll have it here next week. We'll pop another balloon. Next episode, we'll have it.
We're really sponging
I can't keep up with the demand for that. Like, I do kit every week.
Good point.
It's a good excuse.
Well, this episode with you on it's going to explode. So
I honestly, if this is your most viewed episode, I want a tenner from both of you.
Deal, because I'm sure we'd get
millions.
Yeah,
I reckon so.
£10 a view, is it, or something like that? You were telling me.
Cool.
£10 a view.
I wish. Well, that's our 2 things that have caught iris this week. If any viewers or listeners have got any other bits of equipment that feels relevant for the show and for other people to find out, either leave them on the comments on any of the videos or on our socials. I'll pop them up on screen now. And yeah, looking forward to hearing what other irises have been caught
That's terrible.
Yeah, don't ever say that. Please.
Sorry.
Move on. So rounding up 2024 in terms of kit, we were talking about stuff that's come out that we're excited about. I was thinking about stuff that I've bought that I've not had the value from.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not been loads. I've been fairly sensible with my kit, but there has been a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
One of which was a Blackmagic Atom, what are they called? Atom Mini Pros. You know the switches?
Yeah.
I bought one of them because I thought I had a podcast job lined up of a regular podcast. So I bought one.
Not this one.
Not this one, yeah. I got bumped up to host, apparently. But yeah, it didn't happen. So that's just been sat there. I haven't even used it yet. I could sell it. It was like 300 odd quid, but I think I'll get some use out of it eventually. So
hopefully on this.
Yeah.
You ever been into vision mixing earlier?
Oh, yeah, yep. I could vision mix.
Oh, nice
start,
man.
mate.
That's fantastic.
We're easy one kind of, yeah.
You can stop the applications now because we're sorted. But yeah, so it's not a massive amount of money that I've spent and not used, but it's a bit of a frustration when things like that happen.
Yeah. I've personally been quite restrictive with spending this year. I think over the last 3 years prior to this year, I've kind of made sure I was buying things that would feel I'd get use out of and things like that. Going back to my spreadsheets and making pros and cons. But this year I did buy the shuttle dolly from Kessler, just under the assumption that on some stuff that I worked out towards the end of last year, I thought, actually, I mean, we worked on some things and I used the Cine slider from Kessler, and it was a little bit limiting in terms of movement that we can do with a full-sized FX6 rig. Fine for mirrorless, but once you make that leap up, it was starting to not perform well, was it?
Yeah.
So I looked at getting the shuttle dolly, and I'll be honest, it's still in the box because I've not had the scale of production that warranted that, or with a crew size that can help me set that up on set. So it's still in the box, which I feel it's a bit of a shame. But then I know we were talking about it earlier about knowing when to invest. For me, it's one of those ones that I think I will use at some point moving forward. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping I will be at a point next year and say, I've used that. I've used it a lot more than I had this year, which wouldn't take much.
Yeah, but I suppose at least with that, it's not really going out of date, is it, a shuttle dolly?
No,
It's kind of like buying a C-stand and not needing it yet. It's
yeah.
like you're going to get use out of it eventually.
You're not going to get an upgraded version of that dolly unless it's by a different manufacturer.
It's not going to get turned over as if now a new one.
Yeah.
I trust Kessler. It's built really well. It's really modular. So I feel like even if I upgrade my camera system in 5 years and need a bigger bowl head or something like that on that plate, I'll be fine. So that's why I'm not getting rid of it.
Yeah.
But it feels like I may have jumped the gun a bit too quick just because I got on a few jobs and thought that would have been perfect for this job. But then that trajectory didn't follow afterwards.
Yeah.
And I just jumped the gun a little bit too soon on that.
And how much did you spend on that?
Can't remember. No, it was about 1,400.
Yeah.
So you win. You win this year on wasted money. Yeah.
World's
We're all losers because I've wasted money as well. But Jesus, you took the crown.
World's most expensive paperweight.
So that's it for episode 2, season 2 of the It's Take Two podcast.
A lot of twos in that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Elliot.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks to the one viewer that enjoys this. He'll be good.
Whoa.
You normally.
Yeah.
Nope,
So 0 viewers. Damn.
Yeah.
We hope you've enjoyed it.
Nice.
And you've been able to see it from the inside.
I mean, this is like coming on to Warner Brothers for me. This is huge.
I'll stop it.
Peek behind the curtain.
Listen, everyone. This is Ronnie getting on. If you've got any questions from this episode, we'll stick the links below. But we hope you enjoyed it. We hope you've enjoyed it.
It's been brilliant.
Oh, stop it. And
I have to say that.
we'll see you in episode 3.
In the new year.
So Merry Christmas, everyone.
And in the new studio. This is the final time in this studio, which is quite sad.
The levels from episode 2 to 3 are going to be huge, aren't they?
I don't know. I think it's the smallest studio.
I guess this is a lot smaller, to be fair.
Could look worse. We can put some like permanent decorations up and stuff like that.
Oh, could be nice.
Put some film posters up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, we've got some film posters we can put up.
Yeah, we can decorate.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
We'll work on it. But
Exciting.
yeah, in the meantime, have a great Christmas, everyone. And you too.
Thank you.
Have a good new year, and we'll see you when we see you.
2025.
Bring it on.
Episode 3. Bye.